Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so freaking excited and blown away that I can finally talk about the secret that I've been keeping for so long. So as you guys know, I'm a makeup artist. I've been a makeup artist for quite some time now, since I started out super young, and I really know what works and what doesn't work, what my clients like, what my clients don't like, what lasts all day, what doesn't last all day. And if you've ever had your makeup done by me, you know that I rave Temptu Airbrush. Airbrush foundation is like my secret weapon that I pull out, and it kind of sets me apart from a lot of makeup artists because I use airbrush all the time on every single one of my clients. And I know that airbrush foundation is truly amazing because it's water resistant. You can build up the coverage to be full coverage. You can cover tattoos with it, but then you can also have this stunning, really sheer light coverage that you can still see your freckles. So I feel like it's really versatile, and it also gives your clients like this most luxurious experience. So, drum roll. I am so excited to finally announce that I have teamed up with Temtpu, and we're releasing a Juliadantas bridal kit, essentials kit, and starter kit. So we're releasing 2 different kits, and I've hand-picked these products because I know I need my Temtpu in my life, especially during bridal season. So I've hand-selected products that I know you will need and you will benefit, and it will make you ace your makeup game every single time. Temtpu is the #1 leading bridal foundation airbrush company, and it's really changing the game for how us makeup artists do makeup. And with the lightweight Temptu Air, it really gives you the freedom to airbrush anywhere you want with the long-lasting battery life and its super tiny and compact abilities. So the Juliadantas Bridal Starter Kit comes with 15 different pieces, and the Juliadantas Bridal Essential Kit comes with 20 different pieces to have you set for success. As you guys know, I've wanted to be a makeup artist since I was 5 years old. Makeup is my absolute passion, and I just love transforming people's faces and making them feel like the best version of themselves. And I know with these products, I really can do just that. The amazing thing about Temtpu is it looks like your skin, but better. And I think that's really cool. So I feel so honored and grateful that we are doing these collaboration kits together. If you guys want to stick around, find out more about my new kits, and watch to see some of my absolute go-to makeup looks for brides, then keep on watching. Okay, look number 1. This is what I would call the no makeup bridal look. This is for brides that don't like wearing makeup, but they just want a little bit extra oomph. They want to look like the best version of themselves. So I really wanted to showcase the glowing skin by using this primer all over, and I really just want to enhance their natural beauty. I'm not putting any lipstick on, I'm not doing anything too crazy to their eyes, but I'm just kind of giving them a little extra oomph and a little extra love. So here is my no makeup. Okay, so the very first thing you want to do when you are starting out with your client or model is you want to assess their skin and see what they really need. So Julia has dry skin, so we're going to go into this Brilliant Glow. This is in the shade Fair, and we're just going to do this all over her face to give her a really nice glow from within. So I'm just going to first prep my Temptu Air, and I'm just going to take the backing off, and then we're just going to put it right into the airbrush. And I'm going to use this on the setting too, and we're just going to do light circular motions all over her face. And this is just going to help hydrate and give her that really nice sun-kissed glow. So as you can see already, the Brilliant Glow pod already gives you a really nice glow from within, so it makes it easy for whatever products you put on top of your client's skin. So next up, we're going to be color correcting. So Julia has really nice skin, and she doesn't really need to be color corrected, but she does pull more of a pink undertone. So I'm going to go into my color corrector green, and that's going to cancel out all the pink undertones. So when we do the foundation on top, it's going to have a really nice and neutral base. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the exact same thing. We're going to prime our green air pot, and then I'm just going to take this little backing off, and then I'm just going to load it into my Temptu Air. I'm keeping this on setting number 2, and then we're just going to kind of go wherever there's redness on her face. So I'm putting this around her nose area. And as you can see, I'm really not holding down too hard because I don't want a lot of fluid to come out. So I'm only pressing down slightly while I'm doing this. And then I'm also going to go just around her mouth area. So before we move on to foundation, I am just drying her face. So whenever you are using your AirPod but you're not holding down the trigger, that's not releasing any fluid or any product, it's just releasing air. So I like to just dry everything before I move on to the next layer so that everything sets in really nicely. Okay, so next we're gonna move on to foundation. So the really great thing about the Temptu Air is you can get a little bit of coverage all the way to really full coverage. So it's great for a variety of different skin tones and different makeup looks for whatever you or your client really desires. So we're gonna go into the shade Alabaster, which is 0.5C. And again, we're just gonna load this in. So pressing the black button, pulling out nice and firmly, and then putting in the new shade. So I'm keeping this on setting 2, and usually I like to keep it around setting 2 whenever I'm applying this on somebody's face. And I like to keep it around 1 inch from their face and just do light circular motions to really build up the product. I'd rather go in and do multiple different layers than do one thick layer. So you always want to kind of have a really sheer touch, and then if you want to build up more coverage, then you can go in and do another layer. And as you can see, as I'm working around her eyes and her eyebrows, I kind of direct the Temtpu in the way that I want it to go. So I obviously don't want to put any product in her eye. So I'm kind of just directing it downwards, and then as I go around the eyebrow, I'm directing it upwards so that you can really kind of manipulate exactly where the product is going. So next we're gonna go into the SB color wheel. This is amazing to keep in your kit because a little bit really goes a long way, especially if your client or you have problematic skin. This really, really helps cover up those tattoos, those acne scars, or just blemishes in general. So I'm just gonna start applying the lightest shade right underneath her eye, and a little bit really does go a long way, so you don't need a lot of product. The other thing I really like about this concealer is that it's really, really creamy, but once it sets, it's not gonna move around on you, so you really have a lot of movement. So I'm just going to start kind of buffing this right underneath her eye, and I'm just doing patting motions. And I like to get really close up to the lash line, and I'm just extending this in a triangle. Now you can go ahead and kind of assess your client and see where they need a little bit more brightening or a little bit more coverage. So I'm just gonna go right on top of her forehead, and I'm still working with that little scoop that we've used from the very beginning, so a little bit goes a long way, and it's really creamy, so you get a lot of kind of value for this product. Okay, so now we have a really nice clean canvas. She looks super flawless, super glowy, and we're just kind of assessing her features now. So this is the time where you can kind of decide where you want to contour, where you want to highlight. You can kind of start masking out their eye shapes and figuring out what exactly you want to do with your client's features. So next we're going to focus on contouring the face. We're going to use the shade Sandalwood, and I'm going to use this on setting 1 just to dust a little bit of definition and contour on her face. So whenever I'm contouring, I like to do a 3 shape. So I do the top of the forehead, underneath the cheekbone, and underneath the jawline. And again, we're really pulling this back to about 1 inch or 2 off her face so that nothing looks harsh and everything is nice, soft, and diffused. And the great thing about doing foundation as a contour is the formula is different than a contour stick, so everything is really going to lock in place and stay all day long, especially if you're attending a wedding or you're a bride or you're a maid of honor. And I'm just doing really fast motions so that everything looks nice and blended out evenly. The further back you extend your air, the more diffused the contour is going to look. So if you're going after more of like a bronzy look, you're going to want to pull further back, but if you want more of that chiseled contour look, you're going to want to go a little bit more close. And I also do want to show you the option, if you guys did want to go into the color wheel, you can go into this shape right here to contour depending on the skin tone of your model or client. So I'm going to just go into this shade right now, and we're just going to contour her nose. Okay, so now that we have finished the contour, she's looking super bronzed, super chiseled, we're gonna go ahead and do blush. So this is the True Blush AirPod, and this is not in my bridal kits, but it is a bonus product. So if you do get my bridal kits, you get an extra blush and an extra highlighter, so look out for that. So I'm just gonna put this on setting number 1, and usually when I'm using pigments that are a little bit more heavy or intense, I like to keep it on setting number 1 so that I know everything looks really soft and diffused. So I'm just gonna go ahead, keeping this pretty far back so it's really nice and blended. We're just gonna focus this right on the apples of the cheeks. So the great thing about this blush is you can actually start creating a monochromatic makeup look by applying this to her eyes as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put this right on her eyes to help define and give that monochromatic look that we're going for. So again, I'm putting this on setting number 1. You can use a paper towel to put right underneath her eye, and that kind of is a guard or barrier, but I'm just gonna go right into it and start just applying this. You can lift up the eyebrow to give you a little bit more room on the eyelid. And I'm really pressing down super lightly, and this is on setting number 1. And you'll see when I'm working with smaller areas like the eyelid, I come really close and tight to the eye so that I can keep the product in a defined area. And when I want something to be more blown out, I pull my AirPod back. Okay, so next up, we're gonna go back into the Brilliant Glow highlighter and primer, which we use to prime her face, and we're gonna go on top and add a nice glow all over her skin. So I'm just going to put this again on setting 1, and we're just gonna start applying this right on the high points of her face. And just doing quick circular motions. And what I like about this is it doesn't have a shimmer, it's just a radiant glow. So it doesn't look like you have a super shimmery highlighter on, it just looks like you're glowing from within and you have that like Kim K wet look. And I'm just following her brow and doing this little C shape. I'm also just gonna bring a little bit of that right on her eyelid for a little bit of a sheen. Okay, last but not least for this look, we're gonna go into the new Temptu Build to Lash Mascara. I am so excited to have this in my kit because it's brand new and I've been testing this out for a few months and it is absolutely incredible. So this truly is a long-lasting formula. It's buildable, but it doesn't clump on you or flake throughout the day, which was really important for me. It's also water resistant, which means it's not gonna run and leak and smudge throughout the day, especially when you're working with brides. You have to make sure you have a really good mascara. That's why I'm really excited to offer this in the kit, because the mascara is almost just as important as your foundation and your base, because you need something that's going to stay in place all day long. Okay, so now we're just gonna bump this up a notch. We're gonna go into a classic bridal look. So typically when I do brides, they like a natural look, but they also want it to be a bit more bumped up on the eyes. So now we're just gonna kind of define the eyes, make them look a little bit more chiseled, and add a little bit of sparkle and foiled shadow to the eyelid. Usually that's the #1 thing that my clients will ask, is they want a bit of bling to their eyes. So I'm just gonna kind of bump up the eyes and then pair this with a nice pink lip. So I'm just buffing a brown into the crease of her eye just to help warm this up. And since we have the blush as a base, it'll really ensure that the product is gonna stay in place. So next up, we're gonna dip into a foiled shade and we're just gonna run this right on her eyelid. And I typically like to use foiled shades that kind of coordinate with your client's jewelry or with their dress undertone. I'm also going to bring that brown shade right underneath her eye to just really help accentuate her eyes and make her eyes really defined and pop. Alrighty, so far we've done her face with the first look and it looks absolutely stunning, super flawless, super dewy. We bumped up her eyes with a little bit of a brown eyeshadow and a foiled shadow in there as well. And now we're just going to finish off with this second look with her lips. So typically I like to go into a brownie nude for the lips if I'm keeping it with the kind of monochromatic color scheme. So I'm just gonna first line her lips and I just kind of follow the shape of your natural lip. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and add in one of my favorite lipsticks and apply this all over her lips. This is a really nice shimmery glossy lipstick, so it looks absolutely stunning in the sun and really goes with this dewy monochromatic makeup look. Okay, next up is probably one of my most favorite looks to do on any bride is the retro old Hollywood glam makeup. So I consider this so classic, so iconic, and I think that this looks so good on so many different types of people. So we pair this with some really nice retro vintage waves, a classic red lip, and a nice defined winged liner. You can never go wrong with this makeup look, and it looks stunning on so many different people. Okay, so now we're gonna bump this up and do an old Hollywood classic retro look. So my favorite way to do that is to do a really nice dramatic winged liner. So I'm gonna go ahead and just perfect this wing. So I always like to start at the very edge of the eye, do a nice little flick, and then just kind of extend it. And you just wanna really take your time with this. Don't rush this because you want this to look super perfect. So I always like to do the side that I am not as good at. So usually if you're right-handed, your left side is going to be easier and your right side on your client is going to be more difficult. So I've done the right side on my client first, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the left side. And that way you can kind of see exactly the way that the eyeliner is looking. You can go back and forth to perfect it rather than doing your easy side first and then trying to perfect it on your hard side. So I've already gone ahead and put on my Build 2 Lash Mascara, and now we're just going to emphasize this a little bit more and apply some false lashes. So you can totally leave it right here, or you can go ahead and just intensify this. So now that you have your lashes on, you can go back into your Build 2 Lash Mascara just to kind of define the lashes even further and blend in her own lashes with the false lashes. Okay, so now we have gone ahead, done her eyelashes, everything is looking super gorgeous. We're gonna go and do her lips. We're gonna give her a really nice classic red lip. So I'm gonna go on first with my lip liner just to define and shape the lips. Especially whenever you're doing a bold lip, you always wanna make sure that you really take your time and have nice clean edges, because that's gonna be super prominent if you have squiggly edges in your photos. And now we're just gonna go ahead and pick up a red lipstick and just fill this in. So now I'm gonna go back into my color wheel, and we're just gonna pull out one of the shades that is closest to her skin tone. So I'm gonna go into this shade right here, and we're just gonna go and define her lips so that everything looks nice and crisp and clean. Especially when you're doing a bold lip, I always go in with my concealer color wheel just to make sure that everything looks perfect. Alright, next up I have this really nice boho beachy sun-kissed faux freckle makeup look. I love this makeup look, especially when I'm doing like a destination wedding, or I'm doing something that they just really are like in the garden. They want to enhance their natural beauty, but they want to look super sun-kissed and bronzy. We actually went ahead and added some freckles with the Temptu Air pod, and we went ahead and just kind of bronzed up her facial features, added a little bit more contour to her eyes, and gave her a nice nude lip. So I'm going to show you really quickly how to achieve some fast and easy freckles that last all day long. So all I'm going to do for this is I'm just going to apply this on the back of my hand, and I'm applying quite a bit so that I have a lot of product on my hand. And what I'm doing now is dipping in with a really tiny defined brush, and we're going to create freckles on her. She already has really nice freckles, but usually if you're like at a destination wedding or you want to have that more sun-kissed glow, you kind of want to add some freckles. A lot of my clients do want this, you'll be surprised. So figuring out a way to do freckles that last all day long is really important, especially if it's summer and it's hot and your model or client is sweating. So I always like to stick to my Temtpu foundations because I know they're going to stay in place all day long because they're water resistant. So we're just going to dip into our foundation, and we're just going to do a few little dots on her nose. And I'm just kind of doing this sporadically. So we really just want to make everything really nice and bronzy, and again, monochromatic. So I'm going back into this contour shade. We're just going to put this and define her eyes even more and bronze up her face further. So I'm just going to put this on level 1 and really get close to her eye. And bringing this in to the inner half to kind of start creating a really nice crease. I'm going to go back into my AirPod and use that contour bronzer shade to just kind of bump this up and define and bronze up her features. I'm also going to jump back to the eyes and just add a touch more of a brown, deeper eyeshadow just to really help define her eyes. And I'm just working this in right with the eyeliner so everything is really nice and blended. I'm going to go ahead and grab a blush, and I'm just applying this right to the apples of her cheeks to really warm up her face, to make it look like she was on the beach relaxing. And I'm also going to bring a tad of that right onto the eyelids as well to create that monochromatic look that we're going for. Last but not least, for this look, we're just going to go ahead and add a pink gloss to her lips so it looks really nice and sun-kissed and bronzy. And for the finishing touches, I'm just going to go back into my Brilliant Glow primer and highlighter, and I'm just going to start highlighting her face. I absolutely love this because it's the most stunning glow from within. I also like to extend that onto my bride's chest and shoulders and collarbones, and it really makes everything look nice and cohesive, like everything is flowing together. Last but not least, the glam bride. We all have that client that loves a good glam makeup. And personally, I think if you have a really gorgeous base, anything that you put on top is gonna look flawless. So I've created this full makeup look with a flawless base using my Temptu Airbrush foundation set. And then I've gone on top of it to really just smoke out her eyes, really focusing this on the bottom lash line and really amping this up to give her that intensity with the black eyeliner, and then pairing this with a stunning glossy nude lip. Bumping up the eyes, I'm going to go into a dark brown eyeshadow, and I'm focusing this right at the outer corner of her eyes to really help elongate and extend her eyes and make her eyes look that much bigger. And I'm just doing little circular motions to just blend this and work this in place. Now we're going to go and get that dark brown, and we're just going to start smoking out her bottom lash line to really bump up this look. And now we're going to go into a fluffy brush, and we're just going to diffuse this color now. So you can totally stop here and you get this really nice vampy smoky makeup look, or you can bump it up even a touch more and put a blacker charcoal in her waterline, and I'll show you guys the difference. So I don't normally do this on clients unless they are really after that dramatic smoky eye. But it's nice to know how to do it and how to achieve like a nice blown out smoky eye. And as you can see, just adding in that liner totally bumps us up to like a more fierce nighttime evening look. Okay, now to finish off with this glam bride makeup look, we're gonna give her a true nude brown based lipstick look. So the first thing we're gonna do is of course define the lips with a nice nude lip liner, and I really am kind of just taking my time with this part. You always wanna make sure the lips are on point. I've also done these 4 lines to make her lips look a little bit poutier, and then we're gonna go right ahead and apply a lipstick. I'm using a nice pink undertone lipstick for this part, and I'm just kind of diffusing the lip liner with the lipstick so it kind of has that ombre effect. And last but not least, we're just going to add a touch of gloss to really emphasize these lips. Alrighty guys, so there you have it. That is my secret that I've been dying to tell you guys about. We have been working on this collection for such a long time, and we really wanted to pinpoint what was going to be the most beneficial for you, the most bang for your buck, and you actually are making some big savings. You guys are saving like 40% off the regular price with these kits, and I know everything in these kits are going to set you up for success. As you guys know, I'm an educator. I love to inspire people, and I'm a strong believer that if you think about it, you bring about it, and you have the power to create your dream life. And I'm so excited that you guys have decided to stick around for this video and hopefully purchase one of my bridal bundles, because really it is going to set you up for success in the beauty industry. And I'm excited that I can be a small little part of that in your journey and your process. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will leave all the links to everything down below where you can buy it, the prices, and all of that fun stuff. I am forever so grateful for you guys. And I hope you guys got some bridal inspo if you guys are just sticking around to get some makeup inspiration for the bridal season. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys. I'll take care of you.